March of 2020, my whole world changed. My life changed in March of 2020. Do you remember what happened? Well, I was sitting in HCC. I was in class the last semester. I was on the dean's list. I was like, hell yes, an exciting new future is right there on the way. I was proud of myself. As I'm sitting in this class, the teacher, she looks startled and she starts talking and she's like, well, class dismissed. I don't know when I'll see you again. Have a good day. And I'm like, huh. Now, I had heard other people talking about COVID-19, but I ain't really paying no mind. I was like, something, illness, China, whatever, tunnel vision. I'm on a mission. I got something to do. And then when they sent me home on March of 2020, all of a sudden the whole world stopped. The whole world stopped. Public transit stopped. Schools stopped. Everything just came to a screeching halt. Now I'm supposed to understand and say, yes, this was a global pandemic and everybody was affected. Nah, that's not how my brain works. That's not how my brain works. I think that governments were created by people because people wanted governments. I don't think that at any point in time, the government is supposed to control the people. The government gives me information and I use that information to the best of my ability. Man, I was terrified. I wasn't terrified of this illness that was going around. I was afraid that I wasn't free. For my first time in my life, I realized, I was like, damn, the government can make me do anything. And I had been to the military. I had been to prison. I've been made to do some things. Strip, get butt naked, open up your butt cheeks. I've been made to do some pretty wild things in my life. But when I watched the whole world shut down, I started to evaluate power. At that moment, that's where I had to create a playbook. You ever seen a vision board before? A vision board where you write down your ideas so that you know where you're going. And I think number one, you gotta do the work. Number two, I said, speak truth to power while talking shit. I was like, speak truth to power. I wanted to articulate the fact that free people, what's power? What's power? Me. The most powerful thing in the history of the world is human beings. I think humanity is good. I think babies are good. And then when I look at the government, and governments are comprised of people, by the people, for the people, you know what I'm saying? It's people, by people, for the people. And then when we forget that, we forget about the people. We start thinking about jobs and careers and monies and vacations and all this stuff. And somewhere we got lost and we forgot about the babies. Let me tie all this together so that you understand what I mean by freedom. World War II, we lost like 60 to 80 million people worldwide. It wasn't just, one group of people. China lost like 18 million people. Russia, USSR, they lost I don't know how many people. It was like 26 million people or something like this, right? Like millions of people around the world. America lost like 500,000 men, 500,000. World War II was devastating. 80 million people, just like this. Now you go a few years before that and you have like a plague and there's like millions of people. All these events have reminded us that we're just humans and humans are fragile and life is valuable. And somewhere we got disconnected. We stopped fighting for humanity. Like COVID woke me up. I was like, damn, everybody's chasing things and no one is really connected to people. YouTube, it caught my attention because I was like, man, this is regular people have the ability to turn on the camera and talk to the camera, then other people can watch the video. I know there's an algorithm that shows videos to other people, but a record of account to say that this happened. COVID-19 really happened. It really shut our lives down. The government really does have that much power. YouTube really did say that you can't say COVID-19. Big business really does have that much power. And so when I start looking at power, I want to speak truth to power while talking shit. You're the most powerful entity that's ever existed in the history of the world because you exist in the most powerful nation that's ever existed in the history of the world. Man, that's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. I call you the greatest American alive, not because America is so great, but because you are so great. But now, if you don't get curious or start questioning, why does the government have that much power? And how do I fight back against a powerful government? What does freedom look like? Man, God damn it. There's two groups of people in America that are just really holding us back. Black people, people who look like me. You're born in America, raised in America, went to school in America, but somehow you feel ashamed to say, I'm an American. Damn it, you're an American. Where the hell do you live at? Where's your mama from? Where's your grandmama from? And so the idea of thinking that America is like for white people or for other people, you not inheriting your birthright is really tearing us apart. It is. It is. Once you accept, damn, I'm an American, like this is mine. I inherited this. These white people are here. I got to work with these folks. And all of a sudden, America starts to look different. This is like politics, right? This is how you start to negotiate. You get to a place where you understand that most people in America are poor. When I say poor, economically challenged, you don't own your house. You're swamped in debt, just swimming in debt, trying to figure out, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay my rent? And more importantly, how am I going to eat? Now that economic pressure is beat us all into submission. And so we're debt slaves. And since we're debt slaves, the nastiest question and the second group of people who are tearing America apart is, how can I afford to have a child? And I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about? How can you not afford to have a child? I'm getting angry because the second group of people, women, have made a decision to question their womanhood. And because you're challenging who you are, women, I'm sorry, I love you. Don't you love yourself? You look in the mirror, you take a bath, you get to bathe yourself. You know that we're physically different. You're designed to do something different than me. And the only thing that you're designed to do different than me is, have a baby. The baby comes out of the birth canal, then you hook it up, and they latch, and the baby feeds from you. That's like so amazing. You're like, oh my gosh. Can you imagine you have the ability to create a baby, and from your body, you birthed the baby and fed the baby from your body? It's like a magic trick. The greatest miracle in the history of the world is childbirth. But since you don't want to embrace your duty, everybody's torn apart. The only way any man can say, I'm a woman, is if women don't stand on their womanhood. I'm a woman because I can have a baby. That makes me a woman. There are some women, a very small group of women, who don't have the ability to have a baby. And for that group of people, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like for all the people who have cancer in the world, I'm so sorry. Man, I hope God heals your cancer. I hope God heals your womb so that you can have a baby to create the greatest magic trick in the history of the world. You're here. We're here. I'm here. Now, black people and women, we're creating this conflict inside of America that's preventing us from talking about power. Working class people, men and women, are supposed to fall in love, have babies, create more working class people, so you stand up against the bosses. But if you don't stand up against the bosses and they create robots, and the robots come in and they say, there's not enough people to stand up for freedom. Man, I said, like 5 years ago, once when COVID happened, I realized I wasn't a free person. And I was like, man, someone has to talk about freedom. Someone has to say that people are good and humans are good. Someone has to remind the wonderful women in the United States of America that babies are good. Hell, what kind of reality is this? I go to work and I go on vacation and that's my life. That's a horrible life. Without people, there's no government. Without people, there's no nation. Without people, there's no world. And so my belief system is to fight for freedom. Freedom is humans making more humans. That's the greatest freedom ever. They can't control your brain and they can't control your body. They can put you in bondage. But right now, when you're free with your limbs, the best thing that you can do is meet a person who's somewhat compatible, that makes you laugh a little bit sometimes because we're not always happy. Do the nasty, have a baby, and you save the world. Women can save the world by having a baby. The greatest freedom fighters and revolutionaries in the history of the world, the woman. It's amazing.